Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I think.
Goes, the heel's at the bottom, then you've got the ankle that connects the heel to the calf.
Warren says, who was the lead singer of Queen last night? Hoping it was Liz second. By the way, can't be Queen without Freddie Mercury.
No, they have Queen with, and I can't remember what his name is. It's the standard one. They've
Adam.
Something like that.
Oh, he's actually really good. Remember the old song, Annie? The heel bone's connected to the thigh bone.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where I grew up with my anatomy, but I'm just a bit forgetful as well.
Bolt's coming back in, and Root has pulled that nicely in front of square. They'll get back for 2. There's a little bit of a misfield out there. It's a good bit of fielding by AJ Patel. He had to come, and it was hit hard by Root, well in front of square.
Well slid along, wasn't it?
And he had to get around from just backwards of square, or just forward of square, but it's a good 15 metres and the ball's travelling. The light is very dark. I mean, everything's kind of in New Zealand's favour, except for panic. England have been going along quite nicely. They only need 48 more to win now. Root plays that sweetly out towards deep point. He'll get himself a single.
He just looks very assured still, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem that, England found it. The ball did get really soft and really easy to play at the end of when England, before they got the new ball towards the end of the day. And they've got 12 overs of this. It's a long way to go. And England really can, get within.
They need to stop the boundaries, really, don't they?
I think they need to. Well, they need to, England,
get wickets.
Well, they do, because if England only need to go on at about 4 and over, and they're there before the new ball, and they're doing that quite comfortably at the moment. I mean, this is the third over of the morning.
They're taking their time to set the field, aren't they?
I mean, this is the fourth over of the morning, so they've gone along at 4 and over so far. Bolt around the wicket, and they've got 3 already this over, and there's still 3 balls to go as that one is played out to point and there's no run.
So what you're saying is then you need a single off this over?
Yes. And if they get 2, they're ahead of where they need to be to get,
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike brings us all back down to earth. He said, morning all, please take the time to hug your family members and think of the 14 injured and 3 killed at midnight here in Philly. There was a mass shooting after an event just outside my girlfriend's apartment. This nightmare never ends in America.
Oh, God.
It's crazy over
horrible.
There. It is, it's madness.
Guns,
Gods and guns, bad, man.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, that's not unpleasant. You need to vote out all those fucking crazy Republicans so you can get some laws passed. That one is a decent ball by Bolt. He's gone back over the wicket. He's given up going round and bowls it across. Folks, he's not tempted to drive at it. And lets it through to the keeper and there's no run.
He knows he only needs a single.
Yeah. It's not even that, is it? It's just rotating the strike.
No, absolutely. They do look very calm, both of them.
Yeah, they do. That'll change if one of them falls. But and if it's Root, cattle really being exposed to pigeons. Defended nicely by Folks, out to once again to point, and there is no run.
Brendan Waivers with us, says, morning top drawer gorillas. I'm worried that with only 2 to 3 wickets in hand to get these runs, I'm praying that Folks and Root can stay the course. Tony Bishop says, just like Ken. Now, that I'm not sure about that. That's probably nothing worse than being pulled out of a Barbie before the money shot. So clearly.
Okay, Bolt in, last ball of the over is defended, back down the track nicely by Folks.
Tony was on my wavelength, I think.
Yeah.
Any more? We're at the end of the over.
Okay, Farong says the stage is set perfectly for Gorilla Hendo, or is it the new Gorilla Zendo? England edging closer to victory can be achieved before the second new ball, but the spirit of epic collapses is waiting eagerly to make a presence felt.
Well, absolutely.
Adam Lambert, Leah says, that's who we're trying to think of. And Hendo says, yes, there is another twist with England, always. Misleadingly good stuff.
Good to see you positive as ever.
Nestle's tweets, for no apparent reason, I've got wet feet.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. They're looking at the basically
Looking at the ball.
they were looking at the ball last night. They changed it at about 55 overs. Obviously, it got soft and it wasn't doing much. But the swing with the older ball was 1.5 degrees on average, and the ball they changed it to is 0.5 of a degree. Jameson is in, and Root just knocks that into the onside. Quickly sets off for a single and gets it. He moves on to 86.
Ticking away nicely.
Yeah, very much so. And as long
So
as
he's
he's
never got
there,
a fourth inning century, so that would be good if you got that and got his 10,000 runs and ended up with an average of over 50.
and won the match.
Yeah.
That would
That
be good
smile
to
is back on his face.
see. Yeah. That must be such a relief, all that burden that's gone away from being captain. You're going to have all those awkward questions, having to front up to the press all the time. Left alone by folks through to the keeper and no run.
This is what I was saying to Will. When we did the video, he was saying that Paul Root, he feels sorry for Root because he wants to still be captain probably. But I don't agree. I think he's probably going, oh, thank fuck, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's aware. I mean, he's been doing it for what, 4 or 5
5 years?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's aware of the limitations of the side in front of him, and he has to front up and give excuses for it all the time. He might like the guys, and he probably wouldn't take it out on them because he seems such a nice guy, but he's aware of it, and he has to fucking excuse them all the time.
Bit like being a government
Yeah,
spokesman.
exactly. You know, and he's quite happy to let that go. Let Stokesy have it. I don't think that's left alone through to keep, and there's no man. I don't know. I mean, what do you reckon the Stokes is captain? He still looks quite mentally fragile to me. I don't know if it's going to sit with him.
Well, I was always worried because he did initially say he wasn't really in the right, place. This was
That's
way
what
before.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was only about 6 weeks before he was announced, wasn't it? I mean, it's not that long.
It wasn't long before, yeah. And I do, I think it's a really difficult thing to put someone in a position like this, especially when we're so low down in respect.
Yeah, driven nicely by folks. Can't beat mid-off. It's pretty wide and there's no run.
I mean, it does feel
I
a
guess
bit...
you work on the basis that it couldn't get any worse than it was. So, he's got nothing to lose.
absolutely. And I think, as long as he's all right, it's a good choice because you do need a bit of a Stokes-like character to say, right, we're doing. But it does feel a bit like all the management team, and it's all jobs for the lads, isn't it? They're all. I think
jobs for the boys. It's
jobs for the boys, and I think 3 of the management team own a racehorse together, for example.
That's a nice shot by folks. A little bit too short, a bit wide. Forced by folks out towards the third man boundary. That's going to be the first boundary today. That's 4 runs for this over. 5, in fact, because we've got a single off the first. And a nice shot by folks.
Mog's had enough. He's on YouTube. He says, Jesus wept. Can we stop with the Joe Root hagiographies? and Pokey Bumfinger says, captains is the only thing on the cricket field Joe Root is no good at.
Well, yeah, he wasn't a great captain. I mean, I liked the fact that Stokes backed his bowlers on that first morning when it started getting in the wickets. We had 6 slips. It was like, yeah, wicked.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you need that aggression, but I do wonder about the whole. I hope everything works out well, but I do wonder how much it's all a bit cosy, isn't it? In the
no, but it's the same bloody worldwide, isn't it? Jameson is in, and that's defended again. Good. No, it was into the ground.
Great stop.
It was a good stop into the ground, and he bounced over Latham, who's at second slip, but it didn't. He plucked it out of the air. There's no runs off that last ball. Root will touch straight. 42 more required. 235 for 5. Go Jez.
There's a certain amount of disbelief. Warren says, holy shit, are England going to win this clusterfuck of a test? Brian 001 says, when England win this match, at which point did New Zealand lose their chance of winning? Was it the stupid run out? Well, I think it was actually the no ball that the Grantham bowled to Stokes. If Stokes,
so it was de Grando, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, it was de Grando. I mean, that was really dozy to get run out in that way, and then to do that. I mean, that's 50 runs from Stokes.
Yeah.
all the time while Root
Mike
was with him.
says, why is the ball constantly checked to see if it's still in shape? This never happened this often a couple of years ago. Are the balls shit quality now or something?
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, it's been going on for a long time.
It has, but the balls have been really contentious this year.
Exactly. Root gets squared up a little bit by Bolt, but he's well on top of it. It goes to Southey, who seems to be... Was that Southey or was that Jameson?
Well, one's a lot taller than the other.
Yeah, it looked like Southey, but the tallness implied Jameson. It's got to be Jameson.
They're almost identical apart from the fact they look completely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a long fucking test. Leave me alone.
It's a bit like the calf and the ankle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's pulled nicely by Root, but straight down to long leg. Now that's Jameson down there, so it must have been Southey at Gully.
Unless he's very fast runner.
Oh yeah, unless he's a very fast runner.
Paul Marshall reckons England needs to get within 20 before losing a wicket, otherwise they're stuffed.
Stuffed.
Well, he didn't actually say stuffed, I did.
I don't think he's far wrong though, because once a wicket goes, Kiwis' tails will be up. England will be like, temporarily. Funny things happening.
Yeah, you got 3 number 11s.
Yeah, exactly. And Stoke, Broad will just try and smash it out the ground. It could go either way with him.
In the first innings, how many did we score, and how many wickets did we lose, and for how many runs? It wasn't very many.
The last 5 wickets put on 41 runs in the first innings, I think.
And we need 41 more to win.
Yeah, perfect.
And this partnership's already put on 90 something, is it?
Is it that many? Christ, is it?
77.
That's pretty good. Bolt in full, and folks might feel he missed out a bit on that. Played a bit outside it, maybe expecting it to swing a bit less, and ended up half driving it back to the bowler, and there's no run.
Folks keeps fiddling with his bat.
Yeah,
The bottom of his bat.
and his chest guard doesn't, or whatever that guard, it doesn't fit very well, does it? It's just kind of poking out. Bolt, not the last ball of the over, but it's into the hip of Folks, who steers it nicely out to Ajaz Patel on the square leg boundary.
Him and Root both play that shot really nicely, don't they?
Most pros
Got a lot of opportunity for that at the moment.
But that was my thing, going back to Parkinson. You were saying it doesn't matter that you bowl slow, but this was my thing yesterday. I was saying it does.
Did I say that?
Yeah. Well, no. You said it's okay, but I don't think at this level it is. I think really, really good batsmen have got that little bit extra bit of time, and they'll play on too much off the back foot, and you won't be able to draw them forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's a good late wicket taker.
Yeah. Bolt in, nicely driven by Root. Lovely shot, but straight at cover.
Yeah, because batters' eyes open and going, I can hit this. And
you need to be able to get top orders of that too. Jez.
Warren says, Ray, the quality of the balls. Can't they just ask the Duke to turn to the side and cough? Unless it's the Duke of York, of course. Oh, well, you may still be in bed, Warren, but your brain's still very operative this morning. Brian says, if de Grandin recovers before the next test, will he be selected? Is he in line for non-selection due to his 2 glaring stuff-ups? Yeah, well, it'd be very interesting, because there's a couple of others in the frame for selection too, aren't there? It's always interesting in New Zealand. You never quite know who's going to suddenly appear.
Yeah.
And that's up to date on Twitter. There's a lot of discussion going on YouTube, but
is it porn related?
No, none of it is porn related. I'm pleased to say it. So I think Pokey Bonefinger's done a great job, but they're having a good chat amongst themselves. Dara Zizi and Mog and Rick Flair and Crazy Chap and Andrew Cook. Welcome to all of you.
Jameson is going to start his next over. He's bowling at Folks, who clips that sweetly, but can't beat mid-wicket. It's pretty close. Who is that? That's the one person they keep putting a camera on, and I'm not recognising, and I never put a name strap on the bottom.
Is it Will Young?
Mid-wicket.
If that's Will Young,
I don't know. I didn't see. I wasn't looking at the point, so I'm just trying to think of someone you might not know the look of.
I didn't think it was Will Young. He looks completely different under a helmet, if that's Will Young.
Well, then maybe it's not.
Jameson is in. Full, nice drive by Folks. Beats mid on. Don't know if it's gone enough to make it to the boundary, but they're going to get 2. Probably going to come back for 3. No, they're going to
did make the boundary.
Did make the boundary. They're going to get 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And now only 36 required, and still 8 overs after this one before the new ball.
The outfield must be drying out. It does pretty quickly at Lord's, doesn't it?
Yeah, they got that amazing underground system now. And we're due a change at the end of this over. Kat's going to come and join me and you. Kat's going to probably take, well, I imagine, it'll be over by the end of it. If England are still batting, it'll be over by the end of the next half hour, I thought. But
you'd definitely think so, wouldn't you?
You would think so. Jameson in, and Folks pokes it out into the covers, and there's no run.
So we're losing one Australian for another.
Yeah.
Well, it's been lovely being on with you, Messi.
Are we going to get more of you in the next
indeed,
test?
Annie, and I look forward to it next test as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing next test, but I'm doing the 3rd.
Excellent. A little break between the 2nd and 3rd, haven't we?
Yeah. Is it Holland or something?
Yeah, 3 ODIs in Holland, and we're taking out a pretty strong side.
Yeah, but pretty different to the test side.
Yeah, very
David
much so.
Stump knows all. He says their horse is called Elysium Dream. It's only won 3 out of 25 on the flat.
Okay.
And who is it? Who are the 3 that own it?
That's through to the keeper, by the way, no run.
David
What
Stump,
is it?
tell me.
Is that in the England side?
It's I think it's McCullum owns it.
Oh yeah, McCullum had a he tried setting up a stable, didn't he, after he gave up?
I think it's Mott's McCullum. I don't know who the other one is.
Have we got another Antipodean?
I don't think it's an Antipodean.
Jameson is in, and that's nicely driven by Folks through the covers. They'll get 2. They won't get. Well, they might come back for 3. There's a relay throw. They stick at 2 though. Root's decided he wants to take it on. 34 more required. Now Root requires 13 of those to get to his ton. You'd have thought he'd imagine 13 out of 34, but Folks seems to have started playing a few more shots. He certainly wasn't at the end of last night. He was very contained, letting Root do all the running.
So Annie, you're going to be on tweets, just to let you know that Parrot Badshaw is the next tweeter.
Okay, thank you for keeping us up to date, Matty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he won't.
No. She talks too much, that's the problem.
Left alone outside the off stump, and that is no run. We are going to have a switcheroo. We're going to lose Messi and we're going to gain Cat. Morning, Cat.
Okay,
well, evening, I suppose.
Bye.
Good morning, good evening.
Hello, Kat. How lovely to see you. You look like you're in the forest.
Yes, I'm in the forest, and it's very dark actually behind me because it's 8:30 at night. But wonderful to commentate with you, Annie. I was very excited when I saw you were on.
Yeah.
And you too, Bear. Oh.
Yeah. Well, he's boring though, isn't
Thanks,
it?
Kat.
You've got a eucalyptus tree behind you, I think.
Yeah, it's very much Australian bush there, for sure.
Okay, well, I've got a couple of tweets I'll catch up on. Warren says, leave it to Boki Bumfinger to apply the preparation H to the porn bot.
Yes.
Sorry. And Mog says, well, this has been boringly competent and drama-free thus far. Boo! Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you, Mog. We need a bit of drama. Come on, Saudi.
Drama would be nice as long as we still get over the line. But
we've had a fair bit of drama already. But anyway, Southey is coming in and bowling to Root, who's on 87, and Root's flicking this off his pads beautifully behind square. But there is a fielder there, they just get 1. I think the most fun drama would be if Root somehow doesn't make his century but England win. That'd be very funny.
Oh, you'd find that amusing, would you?
Yeah.
That's even.
You find that amusing? That'd be hilarious.
I just can't see that happening, and there's no way Root scores less than Folks. And
unless Folks runs him out?
Well, then he'd be out.
True,
I kind of want to see him get his ton. I'm surprised that's that. He's never scored a fourth innings ton. That'd be a monkey off his back as well. First game not as captain. Look, that was easy. I could steer this side home. Oh, wow.
Southey's steaming in again, and he's over the wicket, and this time folks jamming down on a ball and defending it back to the keeper, I think. And the score is 244 for 5, needing 33 more to win.
That one kept it low, didn't it? Had to jab his bat down on that. It was a big ooh from the batsman.
Yeah.
Lucky. Don't know what that hit on the pitch.
It on a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So the New Zealanders are all looking a little bit nervous. They're all looking cold as well. It is quite cold. There's one slip in place as Southey comes in, and this is flicked away, but all he can do is pick out point, and so there's no run there for folks.
It's horrible weather here, actually. It's in Devon. It's very grey and miserly and cold.
Yeah, it's about
Probably
18.
warmer in Australia, isn't it?
It's about 18 degrees in London. It's not that cold. It's quite, jumper weather, but it's okay.
Well, I think it was about 12 degrees here in Melbourne today, and I took the dog for a walk, and it rained the entire time.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, Southey bowls back of a leg and pushes it. Folks pushes it into the covers for no run. Yeah, I had my raincoat on. I had the dog's coat on. We met no other dogs for the entire walk. It was the sort of day that nobody goes out in.
You had the dog's coat on?
Yeah, I had my coat on. The dog had the dog's coat on. Yeah.
I mean,
he's not very well behaved on his walk, so he likes it when I let him off the lead, which is when there's no other dogs around, which was today. So Southey's bowling again, and this one is jammed down again. Folks is looking like he's just trying to get through this Southey over. He doesn't look like he has much intent to score. He's 24 from 81.
It's been quite tight bowling. That's another scrambled seam. He's trying everything, isn't he, Southey? What do you think?
Yeah.
The Kiwis must be...
And that was an inside edge onto his pads too, so not totally in control there, folks.
I mean, the Kiwis must be getting a little bit worried, you'd have thought.
Definitely, yeah.
Nearly 30 runs, pretty much trouble-free for England.
So Southey's enjoying bowling to folks, and folks trying to push it again through the covers, just picks out extra cover and can't get a run there. But that is the end of Southey's 21st over, I think, and it's the score 244 for 5.
Raffles, the gentleman thug, says, "Good morning, gents. I'm very much enjoying our pending victory against the Colonials." Paul Marshall says, "If Root gets out, can we all shout 'That's all, folks'?" I like that. I really like that.
That's good.
And Farong says, "Will Young..." I can't do this. "Will Young will play in the second test? ? He was pretty ordinary with the bat." Will Young will play. I don't get the play on words there, but yes.
You'd imagine so. It was only one test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He'll get another chance, surely. Particularly if England win.
Yeah.
Tony Bishop says, "A cat in a dog's coat, complete disturbance of the natural order."
Yeah, that's very true.
And
so we are seeing the ball, which is misshapen, is going through the rings and get through the rings quite well. Yeah. So I don't think they've changed it, have they?
No,
they're trying their best, aren't they?
They are trying their best. That's the second time this morning.
Yeah, not great. But anyway, we have Jamieson resuming. New Zealand need 5 wickets and England need 33 or so runs, but there's no score here for Root.
Yeah, it's very dark, very bowler friendly. Southey's still having a word with the umpire.
He's not happy, is he?
No.
Brian says Root needs 23 off the required 33. He'll need to keep the strike and control, folks.
He doesn't need that many, does he?
He needs 12 now.
Yeah.
12.
That was an old tweet.
2 minutes ago, though. So, it's actually...
Well, he just got his maths completely wrong.
Yeah. He needs a maths lesson. Go back and have another look. Get your calculator out.
Oh, that's a shot.
Jamieson bowls back of a length. Beautiful drive all the way down the ground for 4 runs, and that was glorious straight drive.
It's Nissan Shi.
So it's always tricky when you're a little bit behind.
Yeah, I'm slightly behind your feed, and then I think the gorilla feed is behind that. So good luck to anyone watching that one.
Yeah. You're on Fox, I presume.
Yes, Fox must be slightly behind you.
That's just a...
Well, it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go. It's got to be processed by the satellites, and then, all that nonsense. So it will be a little bit. I'm quite impressed that it's so close to what we have.
It is pretty
here.
close. We could tell that it was just a millisecond difference here.
Have we got
And I
any
think
patron?
that-
Have we got any patron bets?
Ooh. So this ball is short, and Root is trying to flick it away. A little bit of a late cut, and picks out the fielder behind point, no run.
What do you mean by patron bets?
Well, Messi said we should be. There's patron stuff we need to talk about.
Yes, there is patron stuff we need to talk about. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the over.
Okay, cool.
So Jamieson has 4 wickets so far in this innings. He's got most of them, really.
Yeah. In fact, all bar
It's
one.
the height.
Ooh.
And he's bowling to Root. Root's on 92. He's trying another late cut and just misses that. I don't know how he missed edging that one. And New Zealand not very happy that was not a wicket.
Was that an edge though? Did he drop it?
I think has it gone all the way to the boundary?
No, it's...
No, he's stopped it.
he stopped it, yeah.
Oh, God, he has dropped it, hasn't he?
I don't know.
Did he edge it? I don't know if he edged it or missed it. We'll find out.
There wasn't... I mean, Jameson hadn't started appealing, which implies that he hadn't.
No, which you would think he would have, but we did cut to some New Zealander saying fuck, so apparently he probably edged it. Anyway, look, if Root even comes close to edging it, it's dangerous. He doesn't come close to edging the next one, he defends it into the onside.
I think the New Zealand bowlers have stepped up a little bit in these last couple of overs. There's definitely a little bit more tension out there.
Well, there is. It's now or never. I mean, the fact that they're all going to the umpire a lot, it sort of implies that they're getting a bit tetchy. You know, they want something to happen, whether it's change a ball or, you know, get off because it's too miserly or whatever.
I think they just want Root off strike, probably.
Yeah, they just want a wicket, don't they? If they get a wicket, it'll all change.
Yeah, that'll get him off strike if he gets out.
You're good at this, Kat.
Emerson's trying again, and this time again, Root's trying to dab it down, but he just finds the gully. Good fielding from New Zealand, keeping the pressure on.
Well, here's the end. Let me tell you about Patreon. We need you guys to help us because, you know, basically we're running out of money, as always. It is always on a knife edge. And we give you 1,000 hours of commentary a year out of the goodness of our hearts. And if you patron us, you can get lots of extra content now. So you can get access to the archive. You get a weekly podcast, although this one will be slightly over a week because there's a test match in between. That is a caveat on that, but generally the Bear and the Bishop comes out once a week. You get on a glory roll if you do $10, and you get a mug if you do $10 too. That will come in a little while. You get your Gorilla Cricket mug, and of course you get the Smacksman Hendo's back in full writing effect once a week, giving you a little newsletter, a roundup of amusing anecdotes that have happened during the week.
And they are amusing.
They are. It's very good.
Yep.
Anyway, Southey is resuming, and he bowls to Folkes, no run.
So go to patreon.com Gorilla Cricket and become a patron. You'll be helping us carry on forever.
We have a new patron today, is that right?
We've had a few over the last few days. I've got to send out some T-shirts. First day of every test, we're going to give away 3 T-shirts to the first patrons who become patrons. And upgrades don't count, by the way.
I won't bother them.
I'm going to...
Southey's bowling over the wicket, and Folkes is on the pull, and he gets all of it, and it goes all the way out to the onside boundary for 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I am, and it has to be $5 or more as well. That's for the T-shirt. I am going to let the first person who's done a first test slide because I hadn't made that caveat. But upgrades don't count. If you're already a patron, you can't sneakily get a T-shirt by just, you know, knocking it up. We appreciate your patronage, but that's cheating.
You just got to feel the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
get the love anyway. You get lots of stuff now.
Yeah, you do. I've got my mug.
Oh, well. Do you use it every morning?
Oh God, yeah.
Think of Gorilla.
The tea tastes better from the Gorilla mug.
Absolutely.
This next ball, tight line and length here from Southie, and Folks is just flicking it into the onside for another dot.
Mog says it's currently 8 degrees in Melbourne, but it allegedly feels like 3. Gosh.
It definitely feels like -3 at least. It's very cold. We're not used to it. We just came from a pretty mild autumn and we're just smack bang into winter now. So we're not used to this.
No.
So Folks on 28 is facing up to Southie, and this ball's swinging in, and he turns it around the corner backward a square where the fielder is running in from where the captain had placed him after that boundary, and so they get a single. And Folks looks like he's got a nappy under his top. He's
He really does. He's having problems with it, isn't he?
He is. He's got a very big pad there on his ribs.
Well, it makes him happy. That's good for me.
Maybe you'd get one that actually straps on.
Well, that's what it looks like. He hasn't the straps on it. Maybe he doesn't like it tight and it restricts him. Maybe he just doesn't mind it loose. I don't know.
Anyway, the important thing is Root's on strike now.
Yeah.
And
Yes, here he is. On 92, facing up to Southie. There's one slip, and he almost plays it on. It's gone all the way down to fine leg, and that's a boundary.
2 + 2 is our member. 2 + 2 is our member.
And that moves on tonight. So if Root gets a ton and wins the test, he gets man of the match, taking it away from Daryl Mitchell, probably, doesn't he?
Mm.
And whoever bowls
He deserves it. Root definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
If you can, yeah.
A second century innings in a match where hardly anyone scored to win a game is definitely man of the match.
and he would literally have won the game, really, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Jameson clears up or one of the bowlers clears up from here with 20 required, then they get man of the match.
But if he only gets 96, does he still get there? As he flicks this next one off his pads backward a square, and he's going to get just the one run.
Yeah, but he's stolen the strike.
Oh, he's stolen the strike. That's the end of the over. England in 19 more to win, and the score is 258 for 5.
Leah says, so we know a cricket bat cat has a coat for a dog, so the real question is, does she also have tactical armour for the little operator? There's a picture of a dog with armour. Do you?
No, I don't.
No.
Don't really
Okay.
have armour for the dog. No.
Okay.
He has
Colin
a leash and he
Rosenwald
has colour.
spotted Mike Gatting there on camera, bearing an ever more disturbing resemblance to Henry VIII.
He's a bull.
Yes. Stomach
Mike
and
Gatting is
beard.
like circular.
Yeah, and Chris Acquire says, I was about to say, can you keep the jollity, laughing and general good humour optimism down? I'm trying to mark A-level maths here, but it's okay now. Messi's not reading tweets.
I was selling encyclopedias in Melbourne years ago in the middle of winter.
Oh, that's right. I remember you said that. Anyway, we've got Jamison. He's coming back in bowling to Root on 97, and Root pushes the ball to mid-on. They're getting a single. Gets him off strike, but he's on 98.
Brian says, much embarrassment. I'll find my glasses and calculate before commenting again on scores. Annie can't highlight the GPL, says Only Harris, if she doesn't know what it's called. Patron bets. All right, okay.
Ah, right. You mean the GPL? Yeah, no, GPL isn't open today.
Yeah. I was getting my patron and my GPL mixed up, and you had to notice.
Okay. Yeah, no, GPL can't be open today because if I opened it, you'd all guess the 4 scores that England would need to win. You'd probably be correct.
Yeah, a bit too easy,
yeah,
really.
It's a bit too easy.
So, folks, this time lets one go outside off, and he's calling to the dressing room. I think it's probably for a pad strap, if I had to guess.
Patrons.
Lots of MCC members.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I was
still.
with it, you younger looking ones. Apparently, you can now buy your way into the MCC.
Yeah,
can't you?
didn't
Pretty Patel.
Yeah.
45 grand. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why these
Lovely.
people should not be in government.
Yep.
So a very attacking field here for Folks, and he's just pushing a ball, goes to point, or gully comes around there, and no run. I think they're really eyeing off Folks as the only opportunity to make a breakthrough here.
Yeah, I think it might even be too late now. I mean, it's you got to get 5 for 18.
Yeah,
I think
there's
it
plenty
becomes
more
tricky
batting to
because
come.
well, there's not much batting to come, but you know, all they have to do is swing a bat and edge it over the slips, and you know, one of those.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long our tail is, let's face it.
Folks is trying to squeeze out this next ball and dribbles into the covers. So he's quite content, I think, to stay on 29. He doesn't want to deny Root the century at all. Very unsporting of him.
He was never going to do that anyway. These two have just got to see it through. You know, I've just realised that Tony, the Bishop, he's doing it from home today. He's going to cut. He's timed it so he's coming on. He's obviously looked at it and thought, well, there'll be just about victory at about midday and beyond. And he's timed himself to do ball by ball on the next slot, which starts in 10 minutes. When it's about when England will be winning.
Oh yeah, I think he'll probably commentate the winning runs.
Yes.
Do you think
As
it's all
Folks
about
again-
him, do you?
I think it's all about him, Tone.
Folks again can't make a breakthrough. He pushes the ball to point. It's his favourite shot, but it is safe. It's along the carpet.
Yes, Tony will be commenting for the England win, and it's the Bishop and the Bear, isn't it? Bear, not Bear and Bishop.
It's the Bear and Bishop. It was my bloody idea. Therefore I come first. And alphabetically, it's BE, not BI, you know.
Yeah.
Jamieson, last ball of his over. He's bowling to Folks. And there are two slips. It's short, and he pulls it backward a square, and the fielder comes around. Is Folks going to keep the strike? Was that a deliberate intent for Folks to keep the strike? Probably.
No, they ran 2.
Oh, did they run 2?
Yeah,
How on
yeah.
earth did they run 2 there?
It was into that space, wasn't it? Too far round and too far back for one fielder.
Warren
16
says, I
more to
just
win."
woke up from a snooze to hear about strap-ons. I assume the porn bot has hijacked the audio feed.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Farong says it would be amusing if the second new ball was taken and only used for one ball.
Well, I mean, there's 4 overs left, and England needs 16. I don't think they're going to get the new ball.
No, and that was the intention, wasn't it? I think they've absolutely come out and done exactly what they should be doing.
And
Must
probably
be indeed.
and the number one. Well, he's not number one, is he? Derby Shane's ahead of him, but you know, he's just carrying on from last year, isn't he? He scored a ton in the West Indies. He looks like he's going to get a ton in the first test of the summer. Always settles him down for the summer.
He's on 98 and he's on strike, and he'll be facing Southie in a minute. Very attacking field again here from New Zealand. Although just the one slip as Root pushes the ball to gully, and there isn't a run.
Yeah, they've done a sensible thing. They've got a slip and a gully, but then they've got a ring of 3 on the offside. They've got a point, they've got a cover and a wide mid-off. And they're all close in, stopping the single.
So really, New Zealand, their last chance to save this match. It does seem inevitable. The England win is going to come shortly after we finish this spell of commentary, we imagine. As Southie bowls to Root. It's a good delivery. He's really bowling well, but Root is equal to the task. At this time, he just defends it into the off.
Yeah, I think just the pitch is just really, really slow. And it's just giving the batsman that much time, especially with the older ball, you know. This ball's knackered. It's only got 4 to go till it's changed.
Yeah. We keep seeing shots of the England dressing room. They could all catch pneumonia for being out there, sitting out there for
They've
too
got
long.
their grey hoodies on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I hope they're warm.
It's not as
This
cold
next
as it
ball
is in
is,
Australia.
Yeah. Next ball is full, and Root
Yes.
pushes it off his toes. He's going to get 2 here. And that is his 100. Congratulations.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Congratulations, sir. You are a centurion.
And he's got 10,000 runs in 118 Test matches as well.
Yeah, exactly. He needed exactly 100 in this innings to make it to that 10,000 runs. 218 innings, and he becomes the fastest in time-wise to that mark. Brilliant. By 3 years and something. It's amazing.
What a fantastic innings as well. Really, really
fantastic
good.
innings. He's got class. Especially yesterday, he was just letting Stokes get on with it, and as soon as Stokes was out, stepped into the plate and did his thing and just started working it around. Immediately picked up his scoring shots and where he was playing the ball, and just carried England forward and didn't let them get stuck. A captain's innings.
What an incredible milestone.
I know. You couldn't write it, could you? Look, that symmetry is just perfect, isn't it?
Absolutely perfect timing. This next delivery is defended back down the pitch. Yeah, what an incredible batter. Incredible.
And apparently his first ever 100 in a fourth innings. Is that his wife?
Yeah.
So I didn't even know what she looked like.
I met her in a lift once, and she was very sweet, very nice. Very like Joe Root, in fact.
Yeah, I remember, I felt a bit sorry. I mean, I remember when I was doing a World Cup and England were playing a game. I think it was when we battered the West Indies down at in Southampton at the Aegean.
Anyway, Root just pushed one to mid-on, no run. Continue.
And weirdly, the players were getting in the lift with the public. I mean, I suppose it was the hotel bit at Southampton, so it wasn't the public. But you got and these lifts are massive. There's about 20 people stuffed in a lift, and Joe Root's in there, and everyone's saying, "Well done." And it just looks a bit.
Southey is bowling to Root, and he flicks a ball down to a wide fine leg, and that's the end of the over. He will retain the strike. England don't need many more to win, only 13.
Chris Acquire says, all I will say about the Gorilla Cricket mug is handle with care. Very good, very good. The bear knows what I mean. Watching cricket's a mugs game.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, dear.
Terrible puns in there.
They're awful, aren't they? Sorry, Chris Acquire. Leah says, I remember Gatting losing a lot of weight at one point. Good to see him healthy and approaching perfect I can't say that word. Sphericality again. Oh, I hate it when people send me words that I have to say that I can't do it. Oh, dear. Warren says Stokes looks eerily like E.T. I managed to miss that. In what way?
I cannot see the similarity.
Did he have his finger up like this? Or?
No idea. Phone home.
No. He had his hood up for a while. It looked like he was a bit...
maybe that's
it must be that then.
On the front of the bike at the end. We all remember E.T. We're all that age, aren't we?
Anyway, poor old Trent Bolt comes in to try and clean up here. His left arm over, and this ball's turned around the corner. Backward a square, and they get another run. 12 to win now.
Yes, it's all feeling a bit easy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think
even Hendo must feel a little bit like we might win this.
Mind you, if an over like that happened to New Zealand happened to England, that was a throw it away.
3 wickets.
3 wickets in an over. 12 runs required.
So Bolt's coming in again. He's bowling to Folkes, and Folkes is again turning the ball around back with a square. That's where all the runs are at the moment. They get another single, turning over the strike.
Now, Folkes might not be Butler, but he looks pretty solid, doesn't he?
Yeah,
in a way that Butler doesn't, I have to say. There's a solid defence there. I guess it's what I'm trying to say.
He's batting with Root, and it must be quite relaxing doing that at times.
It must be. But I mean, there was stress when he came out. But I mean, the fact that he's got proper forward defensive. He goes to the ball, uses his feet.
So Bolt's back of a length, pushed to mid off, no run.
I mean, every batsman's vulnerable when they come in, but
Yeah, he's
once he's
relaxed.
got settled here, he doesn't
Yeah.
look like he's getting himself out, does he?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't played a full shot this morning at all.
Oh, Farong says Joe has scored 9 Test centuries since January 2021.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Been very impressive.
Well, he did have a lean couple of years.
So Bolts bowls again to Root, who pushes a ball into the covers on the bounce. No run.
He had that period when he first became captaincy. We were all worried whether it would affect his batting, and it did for a while. I mean, he got plenty of 50s, but he didn't crack on for any big scores. And then last year, it all just clicked around, didn't it? I mean, he got those 2 double tons in Sri Lanka, or double ton in Sri Lanka. Or maybe it was 2 in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Bolts bowls full, and Root digs this out. Folks diving back into his crease. I think he thought he was in trouble there.
And then
Ryan Barish is worrying that will this test end before his guerrilla cricket stint? Is he due on next?
You fucking glory hunter, you're coming on to take it.
You're coming on now at the end of this over.
Exactly.
Pretty sure you'll get to call it. Because Bolt only has one more to come in this over. And it can't possibly finish on one delivery. And this is wide outside off. And Root swings his bat at it, pokes his bat at it, and it heads out towards the cover boundary. They run a single. Into the over, Bolts 1 for 73, England 267 for 5, needing 10 more to win. Are we having a change?
We are having a change. The glory hunters are coming on.
See you later.
Bye, Glories.
See you,
Thank you. Thank
See
you.
you later.
I think I'd rather be known as the man who generously thought it would finish earlier than this and gave Bear the first 2 stints, but there we go. Apparently not.
No.
Goes to show.
You lie. You timed it.
I wrote these. I did the rotas a week ago. How could I possibly have known? If I do have the gift of something, if that's true. Brian, hello, how are you?
Hello, I am well. I'm recovering from calling 8 Aussie rules games in the sun yesterday, but here I am.
Wow.
And there's the magnificent Messers, accompanied as over his left ear by his right ear by Dennis Lilly. If you're looking on YouTube, just saw, chaps, the most amazing stat, which I thought was fascinating. I don't know if the team before mentioned it. Going to 100 there brought up Joe Root's 10,000. So with this 100, he has actually got the square root of his total career runs. How about that?
Oh, very good.
Somewhere, if Knuckles listening, he'll be rolling over and purring like a pussycat, I would imagine, at the quality of that statting. Isn't it incredible?
Tony, why did you give us that mental image?
Well, no, you don't want to be left with that. Try and think of cat in a dog coat, or the other way round. Dog in the cat. Whichever was it was, that'll keep you going. Just a reminder. England needed 77 at the start of play. They had 5 wickets down. They had Joe Root. They had Ben, folks. The good news for England fans is that Joe Root is still there. He's made his 100. He's on 103. Ben Folkes is on 32. It is just 10 runs to win. So
it's
going to end one way or the other fairly soon.
I'm here to bring back the jollity, laughing, and general good humour and optimism that annoys Chris Squire so much while he's marking his maths A-levels.
I can see his point. I mean, if you're focusing on complicated quadratic equations, the last thing you want is Annie and Messers chortling in your ear. As this one is this the replay?
No.
We're calling replays. We're not going to do that.
No, it's only calling replays. I may as well get caught up really quickly on social media since I'm a real glory hunter because this is my only stint of the test. Alan Hodge has 2 stats if you're into that sort of thing. One, Root is exactly the same age as Cook when reaching 10,000 runs, and this is Root's first 4th innings ton. Warren, good morning, Warren. But does Folkes have a blue square in front of his privates? Should I have read that out? Probably not. O'Neill Harris, good morning, O'Neill. Bear, are you saying England shouldn't let Butler open in the test like they did with Roy? Let's see. Brian 001, Root gets his century well done. England to go 1 up and gain some much needed confidence in the new captain and new coach. See you next test. I'm off to meet Trey Raffles at the club. That's a very Australian thing. I actually won one of those once.
The way you read it, it sounded like he was going to meet a bloke called Trey Raffles. rather than actually go to raffles of meat trays.
Trey Raffles sounds like a guy like a guy who would wear one of those douchey sport coats over a t-shirt.
I think of Singapore when I hear Raffles.
Oh, that's true.
Arguably the most overpriced bar in Singapore, but everyone still wants to go to the Raffles Hotel for their Singapore slings. At least first-time visitors do. Once you've been there a lot, you go, nah, can't be bothered to do that. Right, 10 runs is what is needed. Remember the target, 277. 267 is what England have. Tim Southey is going to bowl right arm over, and it's dabbed wide of slip.
There's 4.
Should go all the way. It does. It's going up the hill towards the Compton stand. It is 4 more. 6 is what is needed now. Beautiful shot. Now I would have, if I was Brendan McCullum, I would have Crawley, Bairstow. I'd just have them watching videos of Joe Root endlessly about how late to play it, where to have your eyes, position your body perfectly. I mean, that was just a sumptuous textbook shot, wasn't it, Messers?
Yeah, the thing is, though, watching someone do it and doing it yourself are very different things.
We're back to our friend the Pornbot. As this one is beautifully off-driven down the ground. That's going to be 4 more. And Joe Root perhaps does want to get there in a hurry. That was a glorious off-drive.
I'll pay that one.
Are we going to need to add that to the
quality.
Are we going to need to add that to the list of Gorilla Cricket, like heard on Gorilla Cricket number 400?
I think not. Hopefully our friend Pokey's got the Pornbot under control today. Although whether I'd actually trust controlling a Pornbot to a man called Pokey Bumfinger, I don't know. Root though, he tried the similar shot. It was too close to him. Southey brought that one back into him. He tried to flick it once more. Just 2 runs now. Those 2 consecutive 4 means England are 2 runs away. Ben Stokes has his feet up. He's chewing his gum with a distinct increase in the jaw movement, as he must sense his first game as captain, which is at Lord's, the home of cricket, will be a victory now for England. Just 2 runs is what they need. Joe Root is facing, and this one he's cut, but he's cut straight to point. New Zealand continuing professional to the end, are keeping the pressure on. They're not going to give these runs away. Of course they aren't. They're tough competitors. They've made this, what actually, for a number of flaws for the purist, has been a quite magnificent test match. And it's sad in a way. It's only lasted not 4.5 days, but you cannot for a second argue that it has not gripped, enthralled and generally entertained.
Yes.
Southey in, pulled. This should be it. Is it going to go all the way from Rick? Yes, it is. He punches the air. Folkes runs down. The 2 embrace. The England balcony are up on their feet. McCullum has a win under the new regime. Ben Stokes has a win under the new regime. Joe Root has reached his 10,000 runs and led England home 2 captain's innings in a way. 1 from the current captain, although with a slice of fortune. 1 from the ex-captain. That has seen England home in a terrific run chase just after they predictably wobbled at the top order. But England have won by 5 wickets. We have been royally entertained on Jubilee Sunday. Goodness me. And I just realised Hallelujah was playing in the background, which is rather good fun.
Well done,
can I say that from the point of view of someone who doesn't have any skin in the game, it is nice to see you and Bear and other gorillas happy about an England win for once in a while, because they're few and far between. I would say, I noticed, for example, that Mog has just tweeted, I guess is a reasonable start for the McCullum-Stokes regime then.
Yeah, I think you've got to take the learnings as well, though, Messers. You have to look at it and see where the flaws were.
Fucking lucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've got to look at the de Grandhomme dismissal as an absolute turning point, and you've got to look at the Stokes